Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our 3-game match reviews. Yes, our 3-game match reviews. Here we are for another big one, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing the Super Saturday-like kind of games. There was 3 games this Saturday, which was yesterday at the time that I'm recording this, of round 15 of the 2022 AFL season. Some very big games that decided top 4 and top 8. So these all were really big games. Carlton vs Fremantle, Geelong vs Richmond, Sydney vs St Kilda. 3 absolute rippers. And we will start off with Carlton vs Fremantle for the first of 3 games on a Super Saturday. So what a round we've had so far, and it just keeps on coming. The games just keep on getting better and just keep on getting more exciting and keep on changing the ladder. It is really interesting, and this one was the same. Carlton 12-9-81 smashed Fremantle really 7-8-50 in a game where, I thought Freo were going to win, but Marvel Stadium, Carlton were too good. Does this tell us a little bit about Freo at Marvel this year? Maybe. Carlton win by 31. And this is back to Carlton's best. They've sometimes just really been missing some parts, and this was a very small defence they had. It was a very undermanned, undersized defence, and it was taken up to the test in the first half, but they were the better side. The Dockers started strongly in the first quarter, but then the Blues, they kick 5 goals to 1 in the second quarter, which gives them a red-hot crack. They take the lead at half-time, and then everything just goes their way from there. Fremantle try in the third quarter to come back with 2 goals in a row, but Carlton just kicked 2 goals late in the quarter just to try and really keep the margin around the 20-point margin, and then in the final quarter, they just extend their lead and do the nice job. So Carlton, they are right back in this top 4 race after maybe just a few weeks ago just saying, oh, they're out of it, but nah, top 4 is definitely on the cards for Carlton. Yes, there's plenty of teams contending, but I feel like they do have a pretty decent crack at making the top 4, and this performance just showed how strong they were, and they did need a performance like this. So Sam Walsh, 40 disposals. This is one of his best games, and he's had a lot of great games. So yeah, this is one of his best. Charlie Curnow, 4 goals. He's the Coleman Medal leader right now. He'll probably win it. 121 fantasy for Doherty, 6 tackles for Will Brodie. So nicely done there. To AFL fantasy we go. 121 for Doherty. 120 for Walsh, not far behind him. 117 for Brodie, not far behind either. And then it's all Blues. 108 Fisher, 95 Hewitt, 94 News, 93 Silvani, 89 O'Brien, 87 Sard, 86 Cripps, 85 Kennedy, with the only other player in there being 86 for Darcy, and then 81 for Young, 80 for Brayshaw and Clark. So it was plenty of Carlton. It was their day. 4 goals for Curnow. He was the tool pillar up forward. Mackay was good with the 2 goals, as was O'Brien, Cottrell and Tabiner. To disposals we go, where there was 40 for Walsh, 36 for Brodie, 30 for Doherty, 29 Fisher, 28 Sard, 27 Hewitt and Brayshaw. Brayshaw does it week in, week out. 25 for Kennedy and Young. Now to marks, 14 for Doherty, 10 for Silvani, 8 for O'Brien, 8 for Nunes, 8 for Kemp, 8 for Tabiner, 7 for Fisher and Hughes. To tackles, 6 for Brodie, 5 for Cripps, Motlop, Mackay and Fife. Hitouts we go, 35 for Darcy. De Koning 22, he was still really good, De Koning. Even though he may not have won the hitouts, but he was still good. He's becoming really well, and in the absence of Pitternet, he's really stood up, I reckon. 10 for Lobb, 4 for Silvani, 2 for Mackay. And now to some team stats we go, where the Blues had more of the footy, more kicks, more handballs. They went inside 50, 24 more times, resulting in the greater score. And then what else have we got? The hitouts was Fremantle, but the clearances were Carlton. They were very dominant out of the centre, and that's where, when Carlton have played well, that's when you know they're on. You know they're on when they're bursting out of the centre. Cripps, Walsh, Kennedy, Hewitt, Shearer, they all get in and around. And even Tom De Koning has established himself in that group. But you know when they're on it, and that this was the perfect performance to state that. They did lead for most of the game as well. But yeah, they put on the pressure. 17-6 tackles inside 50. They took the game on more. 10-1 bounces. This was a Carlton game on. They were on. Carlton were on in this one, and resulting in that, they win by 31 points in a ripper performance. And, well, they needed to save their top 4 chances. They were on. Now to one of the games of the year. Unfortunately enough, not good for my tip, but ripper game. Geelong, 13-11-89. Get over the Tigers, 13-8-86. What a ripping game it was. Geelong won by 3 after they were out by a 35-point margin early on. So, again, the Cats did jump out of the blocks, and when they were at the 35-point margin, 47-12, it looked like the Tigers weren't going to come back. And, well, they did. They worked their way through that fantastic. They kicked plenty of goals. It was 20 points at half-time. Then they kicked back in the third quarter to take the lead. And then the final quarter, though, just not enough. The Cats kicked 4, the Tigers kicked 3 goals, and the Cats run away with an epic. They needed to produce some sort of effort against their shaky win over West Coast. Well, this does it. This tells you the Cats are a top 4 team. So now they've locked their they're trying to get their place in the top 4 as well. Carlton right behind them. Those two teams, Geelong and Carlton, will be clashing later on in the year. Really looking forward to that one. That should be a ripper, Geelong and Carlton. But look, the Cats, they needed to win this. The Tigers have been in really good form lately, so they end their streak. And the Tigers are stuck on 32 points and are looking shaky and vulnerable. But the Tigers did really well to come back from that margin. They can come back if they need to. Tom Stewart, 29 disposals, was good except for his hit on Prestia, which could see him in plenty of trouble. Shai Bolton, 3 goals, 119 fantasy for Vlosten, 8 tackles for Jaden Short. So let's go to AFL Fantasy. 119 for Vlosten, as I said, 111 for Guthrie, 107 for the Nank. Toby Nankervis getting in there. 106 for Stewart. He's normally good as well. 104 for Short, 103 for Duncan, 97 for McIntosh, 92 for Baker, 88 for Rioli. And then Skies and Stengel was really good as well as the small forward. 3 goals for Bolton, Cameron Lynch, and Stengel. Jack Henry, the hero in a way. He was very good. I'm not really sure what to say. He was just really good. You got Cameron, you got Hawkins, you got Stengel that were kicking the goals, but this guy kicked one of the first goals, a ripper outside 50, and the last goal that won it. So he was big and important. Maurice Rioli kicks the 2 goals as well. Everyone else with the singular. Stewart, 29 disposals, 28 for Guthrie, 27 for Rioli, 25 for Duncan and Ross, 24 for Vlosten and Baker, 22 for the big Nank getting in there. 12 marks for Vlosten, 9 for Duncan, 8 for Smith and Cameron and McIntosh. Tackles we go, 8 for Short, 6 for Guthrie, 5 for McIntosh and Nankervis, big Nank, getting in there with some really good numbers today. 25 hit-outs for Nank, 18 for Stanley, 8 for Blitzarv. Soldo also gets the 8 after being the sub, and 2 for Tomahawk. Now to the team stats we go, where the Cats, look at these, like the disposals, kicks, handballs, and inside 50s was only just separated by singular numbers. Everything there. +7 in disposals, +1 in kicks, +6 in handballs, +5 in inside 50s. Very close. That's when you know you've got a close game on your hands. Look at that. Efficiency inside 50, 46 locked apiece. Free kicks, though, was Geelong 26-13. Hit-outs and clearances were relatively even as well. Where marks was +14 to the Tigers, but marks inside 50, contested marks and intercepts were in favour of the Cats. Were locked up pretty much. And the Cats, Tom Stewart does do it every time with his intercepts. The Cats did lead for most of the game. The Tigers had an epic comeback, and it looked like they were going to take it away from the Cats in the final quarter, but the Cats just proved to be the better team as their top 4 hopefuls. Well, that they really stated that in this game. The Cats win by 3 in an absolute ripper. And now to end off Super Saturday, it was the Sydney Swans 12-11-83 who smashed the Saints 4-8-32. They kicked them out of the top 8, and there are now real worries over the Saints and real questions brewing over their finals hopes as their run home is challenging. They play lots of teams in the top 8. Yes, they do play games at Marvel, but it's going to get tough for them. And this was at the SCG, so Sydney were definitely the favourites, and rightly so, and they go on to win this game by a lot. And it wasn't over at quarter time, but the Swans had the better. At half time, the Saints just looked doomed. It was 30-14, and then in the third quarter, it was still hanging around that 30-20 point margin, and then a goal built it out to 30, and then they just banged them on late. The Swans, they kicked 4 goals late in that third quarter. I think it was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 goals in the second half of the third quarter to seal the deal. And then they kept going in the last quarter to smash the Saints by 51. The Saints, they had a goalless third quarter, kicked 1 goal in the second quarter, kicked 2 in the last quarter, and 1 goal in the first quarter. They kicked 4-8 for the game, which is 32. Which, if you play finals, that's just not even going to be close to cutting it. Like, not even close. And the conditions, I didn't see anything too wrong with the conditions. It was just Sydney with a way better side, and Sydney will play finals. You see, I'll say that confidently. Sydney will probably play finals, and if they get a home final at the SCG, they will be hard to beat. They've made this ground their fortress. They can pretty much beat just about any team here. Yes, maybe not. Maybe they haven't been able to play the best against Gold Coast or North this year, but look, they've really made it their fortress in the past couple of weeks. Jake Lloyd, 39 disposals, 3 goals for Isaac Heaney, 141 fantasy for Lloyd, 10 tackles for Jack Steele. Big inclusion, and not even that helped the Saints, and they were a long way off in this one. So Sydney, they are looking good. They've kicked the Saints out of the 8, and they've put themselves into a very favourable position. Lloyd, 141 fantasy, 131 for Marshall, 127 for Ross, 124 for Steele, 115 for Florent, and 97 for Blakey. Really good player is Blakey. 3 goals for Heaney, 2 for Papley Clark, and everybody else just a 1. It is actually a little bit of a low-scoring kind of game, though. Sydney, they still did smash, though, by 51 points. Lloyd, 39 disposals, 31 for Blakey, 31 for Ross, 29 for Steele, 27 for Florent, 27 for Crouch, 23 for Stevens, Mills, Marshall, 22 for Hickey Fox, Nasai, Wanganeen, Miller, and then 21 for Billings, 20 for Goulden, 19 for Parker, a little bit low this one, but 12 marks for Florent, 9 for Lloyd, Ross, and Webster, 8 for McCartan, Paddy McCartan, that one, and Battle. Tackles we go, 10 for Steele. You know he does it all the time. 8 for Rowbottom and Ross, and 6 for Parker, Mills, Butler, and Gresham. Now the hit-outs we go, 42 for Marshall. He smashed Hickey, even without Ryder. 17 for Hickey, 5 for Reid, 3 for Sharman. Now to the team stats we go. So the Saints used more handballs, but the Swans actually only went inside 50 11 more times than the Saints, but smashed them. Smashed them by 51 points. The free kicks was Sydney, and it is the SCG as well. Hit-outs were smashed by the Saints. The Saints smashed the Swans, but clearances were also in favour of the Saints as well. The Saints did make more turnovers, resulting in Sydney winning. Sydney took way more marks inside 50, 13-5, and that is where you can take your set shot. And there you have it. So the Saints laid more tackles inside 50 though. Okay, well, the Swans, they are big winners. They are looking comfortable in the 8 right now. I feel like they should make it. And the Saints, they're very vulnerable. They are extremely vulnerable. And a couple of results on the Sunday, which is today, do matter. So the results today are going to be really important. North Melbourne clash with Adelaide first. That one's not really going to matter, but it does see where the Crows are at and the Roos are at. Collingwood versus GWS. Now this one is big because if Collingwood win, they'll go into the 8. And the Giants, well, they're just playing for a little bit of recognition now, trying to get their season looking as great as possible. They can still, the Giants can still have a red hot crack for taking like a 10th position or something, which wouldn't be too bad after their shocker start. Port Adelaide versus Gold Coast. It's going to be pretty much an elimination final, really. I mean, especially with Port Adelaide. If they put one step wrong, they're out of the finals race. So if they lose today to the Suns, they're out. If the Suns lose today, they are bringing Port Adelaide a chance and just getting themselves a little bit further away, around 16. The Lions and the Dogs starts things off. The Blues and the Saints. Then the Bombers, the Swans, the Crows, the Demons, the Suns, the Pies. I reckon that's going to be a really big one. The Suns and the Pies at Metricon. the Cats and the Roos, the Tigers and the Eagles, the Giants, the Hawks, the Dockers and the Power. Really big now to the ladder before we finish up. The Demons sitting pretty on top of the ladder, plus 4 points. Geelong, Brisbane, Fremantle, Carlton all equal on 40 points. So the top 4 race is blown open. Sydney sitting 6th, 36 points. Sydney pretty comfortable there. The Doggies are on 32 points. Richmond on 32 points. The Saints are on 32. And if Collingwood win today, they can go up into 7th spot and knock Richmond out of the 8 temporarily right now as well. So this is a big game, Collingwood versus Geelong. Then the Suns, if they win, beat the Power, and the Pies lose, well then they'll be able to go equal with the Pies and actually overtake them. But if the Pies win, well then they'll go up onto 32 points as well and overtake the Saints. So, and then Port Adelaide will be out of the finals race. So it's really big. The results of today do mean a lot. Plus next week, I reckon Collingwood versus Gold Coast game the round for round 16. But anyway, still got 3 games to go today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys and then miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.